Boy, they got an assignment for my money every time I'd leave the house, right? The
Well,
car
what are the
insurance
rules?
company.
What are the rules of a financial institution? What are the four rules, Jackie?
4 rules.
They want your money.
Yep.
So they've got a plan, like Phil said. Everyone's got a plan.
Yeah.
They want you to give it to them on an ongoing basis.
Right.
My 401k every 2 weeks. They want to keep it as long as possible, and they want to give it back to you
Yes, right.
as slow as possible.
Right.
Well, think of an IRA. Why do you think everyone's talking about these Roth conversions? Because they're telling us finally what they want. They want this, and this. We want to pay less taxes. We don't want to run out of money. We want to do this. So Phil and I will show them how to do that. And then some people will implement what we say and be really happy. The answer to Phil and I that keeps us coming back is, guys, the reason why I could go to bed at night and sleep is because of what you guys have done. That's it happens to us all the time.
That's beautiful.
But also what happens to us is, okay, we're going to give you the answer here because you told us these things. But you believe Dave Ramsey and you believe somebody else because they're telling you to pay off your debt first. One time I had a case, Phil, that was from the radio show, actually. And they came to me with zero in their 60s, with zero because they followed Dave Ramsey to a T and they paid off all their debt. And now they have nothing. And now they want to get started.
Debt-free and broke.
Debt-free. And it was real, though. But that's what he
Wow.
said.
Yeah.
But that's what everyone said. But I didn't believe it until I saw it. Like, no one's going to do that. Then I saw it with my own eyes. And here's the thing. If you believe what financial institutions say and follow their plan, then you're going to compound a bunch of money, but you don't have any more time to do it at 60 because you don't know what your life expectancy is. So you're not going to compound it to age 90. You can't work at 90 years old. So people forget that, we're not immortal.
Wow.
And one time we may pass away one day. God willing, it won't happen soon. Everyone knows I had prostate cancer. And Phil almost died. He had an appendix burst in Europe. He got stuck in a hospital in Italy. Then he flew home and he almost died of sepsis. So, we almost died. So we know what our own mortality is. And I was fine with it because I knew I had done the right planning, right? I knew I wasn't going to leave my family without being protected. And folks, it doesn't matter how old you are.
It happens so fast, Bruce.
It doesn't matter how old you are. I'm telling you, I talked to a guy on the radio who's probably listening right now. I'm not going to say your name. And he has what's called the Widowmaker. And I said, I thought people that have the Widowmaker are dead. He goes, no, there are people like us that have it. We have to take this very expensive medicine to keep us alive. So it's like, okay, well, let's just say I wanted to sell this guy. I said, well, let me ask you a question now. So I said to him, how much life insurance would you buy from me if you really could get a policy? If I can get you a policy tomorrow, how much would you buy? He goes, how much do you have?
Oh.
That's the only right answer.
It's the only right answer. And the thing is we can't do it then. So folks, you got to understand and you got to listen to people like us because we have the experience. We know exactly what's going to happen. Phil and I did and folks, we may do this if you're nice to me and you keep your appointments and you don't upset me. And most of you that have kept your appointments and have been with me here are fabulous. And you guys know how much I care about you. Every time you call, I answer the phone. That's one of the things that we do. Mm-hmm. But, we did a seminar, Phil and I, because Phil basically markets himself through seminars. That's why he wrote his book. I wrote my book so that you could understand some of the things I talk about on the radio in a very short fashion. But Phil wrote a very deep book. I mean, it's very deep. It's about God. It's about money. It's really good. So we do this seminar, and one of the guys that I had been working with, I really wanted to introduce to Phil because I thought Phil could bring more value to him. It's always good to have a different side of, and when we're both planning the same way, we know they're going to all come to the same thing, and that is, making this money come alive, right? Making this death benefit come alive, making all the things, everything you own come alive so you don't run out of money, you don't leave your family poor, including your spouse, because I have a lot of people, I'm not leaving anything to my kids. My dad didn't leave me. Okay, fine. Now, I'm not mad at you. But you're not going to leave your wife alone, or maybe you have a niece or a nephew and you're single, or a daughter from a previous marriage that you don't want to leave without a legacy. And so Phil and I, we got this periodontist, and he's a really good guy, very, very conservative, extremely direct. Okay. You always knew where he was coming from. He was really direct. Phil didn't even know this until before the show. I said, I got a phone call on a Tuesday about 2 months ago or 3 months ago, maybe 4 it's been now, because I was at his funeral. I don't remember because I like to forget about these things. And this guy is, the wife, I thought I saved the text, but it basically says, I'm very sad. It gives me great sorrow, and I'm completely devastated and lost and don't know what I'm going to do. Gordon died last night, and he had what's called a cardiac, an aortic dissection, which is basically kills you immediately. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm completely lost. Well, and you know what she said to me? I didn't tell you this, Phil. So she says to me, she goes, what's the first thing people ask you when somebody dies? How much insurance? How much insurance?
That is the first question.
She thought that they had like $1.5 million of insurance, and we got them $5 million. We always try to get people what's called their human life value. Now, some of the older folks, I'm trying to protect one of the Social Security incomes or something like that. I'm trying to make it because we don't have the time. He was a little bit younger at the time, and is like early 50s or late 40s, so we were able to get them pretty close to human life value.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something called human life value too, okay, that insurance companies use, and same as the courts use when somebody's in a wrongful death. And she thought she had $1.5 million, and it was taxable. Because people don't remember that it's all tax-free, creditor protected. When I told her $5 million, she started crying.
I would too.
She started crying.
You know what, Bruce? You did your job.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're in the business, That's why I can't quit. And trust me, there's days that I want to quit, but I can't because I know that if I do, you're not going to, most of you aren't going to win. You're going to lose because you're following the 4 rules of a financial institution, and you have to open your minds.
And they're up against the big 3.
Right. And they're winning.
Yeah.
The big 3.
Yeah.
They're winning.
Everyone, Jackie, everyone in their life has 3 villains. 3 villains. Who are the 3 villains? Banks, the IRS, big corporations. And they all want our money. As Bruce said, they all want our money. They want it on a systematic and ongoing basis.
Yep.
They want to hold on to it or keep your money hostage and in jail for as long as they possibly can and virtually give you nothing back in return. Those are the 4 rules of the financial institutions. And we fight that for
every day.
We fight for our clients every single day just because we know what those 4 rules are. And we are trying to rescue every client we come into contact with. Get away from this. First of all, get an assignment on your money, and we try to protect our clients against the big 3.
Man.
Yeah.
Big corporations.
This is a big show.
They're going to happen, folks. It's either going to be maybe a long-term care facility, a bank, So what we'll do is, and if you want to talk to Phil too, I'll even give you an opportunity to talk to Phil.
But just use this one number, yeah.
So the next 5 callers, you have to keep your appointment. You can't cancel. I asked one of the last people that canceled, I said, well, why did you set up an appointment? They said, I was impulsive. They're not impulsive. You know that they've got issues and they're embarrassed. So don't be embarrassed. Because what Jackie and I tell you every week is it doesn't matter if you don't have money. It's more important that you talk to us even if you don't have money and you're close to retirement. So for the next 5 callers, we'll look at your statements. We'll look at, if you don't have statements, we'll create one, for you with something in it. We'll look at the taxes for people that have some money and some maybe planning that they need that it's more sophisticated than some other trust or basic, AB trust. And finally, and most importantly, is we're going to take into consideration the 4 rules of a financial institution and apply them to you and make you the financial institution so you can grow your wealth without the fear of running out.
Premier Southwest Planning Group LLC is a registered investment advisor. The content of this advertisement is intended for informational purposes only and is not intended to be investment advice. The views expressed in this program are subject to change based on market and other conditions.